Hello and welcome back. In the previous few videos we have seen what is Internet of Things. You got a very basic idea of how it has a very huge potential, and as a developer why you should be concerned about learning Internet of Things. Now we will be looking into it in a more technical basis. The first thing which you should know about sensor are they are mainly of two category, analogous and digital sensors. Now what is exactly the work of a sensor? Sensor will be used in your circuits which will read the physical characteristics of your device and will be giving you feedbacks. For example, in your office you have seen a smoke detector sensor in your office. The work of a smoke detecting sensor is very simple. It detects smokes, that means there is something burning, and it turns on the fire prevention mechanism of your office. Like smoke detector, we have many different sensors like measuring pressure, measuring distance, measuring light, or temperature sensor is like a very popular one. When we talk about the category of a sensor, it's analogous or digital. Mainly analogous sensors give you analogous readings. That means they are not compatible directly to your computer softwares, because computer software use 0 and 1 digital values. So these sensors will not give you a digital readings. So you have to attach some interface in between to read those things. But by using analogous sensor, you will have a greater degree of control for your sensor readings. We will be selecting analogous sensor for our use case. We will be demonstrating in this series. Setting up analogous sensor is a bit difficult compared to digital, so it's also will be a good example so you can easily know how to work with analogous sensors. The next component, which is very much essential, is your microcontroller. For this course, we will be using Arduino. Arduino is a very popular microcontroller which you can buy in a very less price, and we have covered Arduino in a detailed way so you can know how you can use to interface in the later point of this course. But now we are only seeing what are the components which will be used and are new. And it also comes in a very small part, so you can see there's a nano version of Arduino as well. We will be then seeing your microprocessor, which is a Raspberry Pi, which we are using. Microprocessors are, you can say it's a mini computer. It can fit in your hand. It is so small, but it has a full capability of a computer. We will be seeing more of this in the later point of course as well. Let's see how this all connects. Now, one of the interesting factors, you can actually plug a USB device which can connect your microprocessor, in this case Raspberry Pi, to your Wi-Fi, and you can have internet capability in your Raspberry Pi. That's your microprocessor. That's pretty amazing, and we will be also telling you how you can do it. If we go in a more detailed way how the connectivity works within these components, first you have the sensor devices. They will be connected to your Arduino, which is a microcontroller, and you will be writing logics. These are simple programs which will be utilized to read those sensor devices. So you will get an input from the sensor devices, and then you will be passing those inputs to your Raspberry Pi. And Raspberry Pi will be having a serial communication. Most of the case people go for the serial communication, because if you are going for a parallel communication, then you have to find out ways and many other things. I think we will try to keep everything simple for the purpose of this course, and will not get into more of a scientific discussion related to computer science, because this topic is really vast and we don't want to deviate from this main point of setting up a simple Internet of Things example. Now if we see Raspberry Pi, it's pretty powerful small computer. You can see the specs here. If I highlight the specs, you can see it has 512 megabit of RAM. That's very good for the size of the computer. It has a 700 megahertz of floating point operation. You can run high definition Blu-ray video at 40 megabits per second, and the graphic performance is almost equal to Xbox One. And if you compare overall, it's like your Pentium 2 processor. Then it's not bad for the size of computer it is. So we will be utilizing this for our demo purpose. We will be also explaining this Raspberry Pi in more detail. I don't know if many of you have heard Raspberry Pi, but it's really very popular in UK and US, where people are trying to do Internet of Things examples. One interesting fact about Raspberry Pi is you can run Java program or your Python program or a web server like PHP in it, and you can host that server in this Raspberry Pi, this small computer, which can fit in your palm. And that's like a very surprising thing for me, because this is so small when I started to work with it, and it can really host a PHP server in your internet. That's really surprising, and it was an amazing experience, which I will share with you. Now, if we see end-to-end connectivity with the ERP, then how it will look like. Now first, your sensor devices will be connected to your Arduino, that is your microcontroller. That is the first part. Then you will be writing your controller. Then you will be writing your controlling logic to your Arduino, and then you will be communicating those data points from Arduino to Raspberry Pi. So what we are going to do, we are going to establish a link between your Arduino to your Raspberry Pi using a serial communication. This serial communication will be actually utilizing Java. Most of us already know Java, but if you don't, then we will be covering everything in a very detailed way, and I will be explaining each part of the program, so it will not be a problem if you are a beginner Java developer or you have not experienced Java in your career so far. And then we will be communicating those information which we got from sensors via internet. So we will be connecting to Wi-Fi, and then Wi-Fi will be going over the internet, and then we will be triggering some procedures in our SAP HANA system, which is our ERP, and we will be storing the data in the ERP system. And then by API communication, you can parallelly see and monitor your sensor by your front-end UI5 application. So this is going to be a sample end-to-end flow. Now you can see here, you will be also experiencing SAP HANA development. If you are very new to SAP HANA development, then don't worry, because we will be covering everything in a very simple manners, in a step-by-step manner. And also, if you are new to SAP UI5 development, then don't worry, because we have very simple application which is monitoring our sensor devices data. And also we will be explaining how to build SAP UI5 application in a very simple way. So if it's new for you, you can still work and create your own UI5 application using the information which we will be sharing. We will be also giving the code snippets in our UI5 CN, so you can easily find the code there and you can start experimenting and run your code. To summarize this lecture, we saw how different components are involved. We got an idea of how they work together, and we saw a basic end-to-end flow of data. In this next lecture, we are going to see some of the real-world use cases. Thank you for watching this video.